What's up, everyone? Welcome to this episode today, but this is not the business DeMarco that y'all know. This is my personal side of me. I want to start it off with this because I have a great and wonderful colleague and friend here who shares the same interests with the business, yes, but also with life, period. So with that said, today we are going to talk about relationships. So relationships, not just for the men, not just for the women, but both genders will be talked with today, and then how we can all do better together. Because I'm pretty sure y'all know out there watching this video, me and Monica can tell you, right? That's why we're here today. But but relationships for all generations, but especially right now for my generation, is horrible. It's complete trash. But how can we get better? So how can we recycle that trash to make a new, right? Build each other up, love each other the right way with a simple equation of treat other people how you want to be treated. Simple as that. But however, first, for those of you who don't know me, besides being involved in esports heavily for the past 7 years, going to schools, hosting tournaments, motivational speaking, hosting workshops and businesses as well. Being in the fire service is cool. Hence the mustache. I miss the beard. But on top of that, I'm a family man. I love being involved in my family. So I really am holding dear to what I do forever and pass it down to my future kids in the future. But Monica, go ahead and introduce yourself as well, because now the spotlight is on you. Great to have you to talk with me and the viewers today.
Thank you, DeMarco. Yes, again, my name is Monica Wilcox, and I share the same sentiment as DeMarco, being in a world where the dynamic of relationships has changed so greatly. I felt that it was a need to come on and talk to another individual who shares, like, again, the same sentiment. We have concerns about the dating arena. I am a health education specialist for the public health department, and I do a little bit of life coaching. And these issues come up um, when I'm actually facilitating and all the things. So I thought this would be a great way to kind of open up dialogue with DeMarco and our Facebook family or YouTube family to kind of unpack the positive dynamics between men and women and unpack the negative and see if we can come up with some solutions to why this is happening, what we can do to improve our relationships overall. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but how to improve our relationships and come together as a community.
That's facts. That's a strong intro. Thank you, Monica. Appreciate that. All right, so first, you know what though? I want to start it off differently because as you guys have probably seen on social media, pop the balloon or whatever else people do these days, they want to go against the other gender automatically. However, I understand that heavily. Trust me, I do. But let's talk about ourselves first today. So, me, I want to go about talking about the men and what makes a real man and how we can be better if it needs to be better, of course. But then again, we all have no perfection for any type of thing. So we should all be courteous, but same time be open-minded to hearing different people's opinions and experiences. So, me and Monica, we took notes today about what we're going to talk about so we don't miss anything important for sure, just in case, So we are going to talk about the men, about having self-love, um, and how to improve your relationships with yourself, yes. But if you are in need of being a better person, or from being a boy to a man, this is the episode for you too, so you can get some kind of guidance or listening about how to improve yourself. And there's no bad stuff as far as like bashing. All right. A lot of people are sensitive these days about hearing the truth. Just take it in and just go with it. See how you feel about it. Anyway, so Monica, did we talk about first about self-love, or did we talk about having the self-integrity? Because it goes hand in hand, of course, but like, what's your thoughts about the experiences and your thoughts about period about men between a boy and a man?
I think my experience in, of course, in this generation, um, and evaluating um, between a boy and a man is who has influenced you in your life. whether it be your mother or whether it be your father. And that the impact of that influence is going to determine. So what happens between birth and let's say manhood, 25, is going to determine who you become. I also think that a rites of passage needs to take place when we are um, growing up our boys into men. Okay, I think that there's a time for the mom to engage, and then she comes in as the nurturer and the caregiver. But there's also a time when the father comes in and steps in that teenage years where he can lead and guide. Okay, a boy into manhood. But however, everyone doesn't have that. Everyone
Right.
doesn't have a father or a mother to do that. So then this is where things kind of get sticky. And if they do, they may not be perfect. It may not be perfection. So this is how we come into some of these challenges. So we as men and women, we have to be aware of these challenges within that dynamic. So when you're in a relationship or you're getting into a relationship, you should kind of ask, what was your childhood like? You have to kind of delve into these hard topics so you can understand what has gone on in someone's life because that determines who they are today. That's how they're going to show up today. Does that make sense?
Variables. Variables, yeah. Like to add on to that too, real quick too. Um, like for men and women, of course, it doesn't matter, guys, where you guys came from or what was your past. The choice is always up to you on what you want to do for the rest of your life, and because you impact others, b believe it or not, you impact others. Either they see you on social media, see you in person, or they heard this and heard that. Not everything is true, obviously, but as long as you know what's right in your heart with God, that's what matters the most. But the good works spread out worse than the bad ones, believe it or not. So there's no excuses to a certain amount of stint where, oh, I didn't have a dad, I didn't have a mom or parents, whatever the case may be. Yes, that's unfortunate. It really is. Trust me. But I still would love to see people be having accountability, right? To have accountability, but having wanted to do better with themselves. You can't be stagnant, especially in California. But all around. But you got to be always wanting more with yourself and what the world has to offer. But while you're doing that, still help others be lifted up as well. So, for example, for the guys out there, so here's my thing: boys and men, right? Girls and women. Hence why we're here today. But boys and girls right now, we have to have self-love first before we get into anything as far as like relationship and romance goes, right? Because how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? That's a thing. That's a really big thing. A lot of people do these days, especially. They want someone to fill their voids, but you shouldn't have that dependency to look for other people to fill a void. You have to be happy first within yourself to make things last. And along with that, don't rush things. Be like a friendship with the person. So like, if you want to be with a person who you feel like is going to be great for you, okay, great. Just take time, lay things out from the beginning. Lay it all out from the beginning. Don't skip nothing. Don't wait to nothing. Yeah, you might forget certain things, but the main basic things about someone, you should get to know that within the first week, if anything, the first day, in my opinion. It can save trouble in the long run, trust me. But you guys should all know when you get to a certain point in your life, you can't depend on other people. So I've heard of guys before, I don't know why this happens, but I've heard of guys before staying at women's houses and not doing nothing at all. They just sit on the couch. And for those of you who do play video games and do that, you know better. I told you guys on my shows, and person, period. Like if I met you in person, you can't just sit there and be stagnant and be a robot and play games all day. Make gaming educational and make it working with your benefit. But this is not the episode for to talk about the positive effects on video games. This is the episode to talk about you directly. So help her out around the house, right? Even if you are in a situation where you find somebody who's taking care of you that way, take care of them back. Hey, how can I wash the dishes the way you want it to? Or how can I fix the house the way you want it to? Or even though you ask her, just do it yourself. Surprise her, right? When she comes home or whenever she's doing something and you're not doing nothing right now, maybe you're down for the moment. That's totally fine. There's no worries about that. But the point is, you have to try to increase yourself every single day. You can't be stagnant. You cannot be comfortable being in one place at all the time, mentally and physically. You got to get up and do something. You really do have to, because that's in our DNA. It's in our DNA to always be conquerors of bad, conquerors of evil, right? We got to be great and use our ancestry with God. That's going to be a great guide. So, to sum up the men part on my end, love yourself. Don't depend on the female to do stuff for you. Do it yourself as well. But if you need help, that's totally fine, and be honest about it. And don't take it to where if you guys do get to the marriage situation, if she wants to work, man, let her work. You can't control her in the sense of saying, "Oh, I want you, to go to work, this and that." Because if you truly love somebody, you will want them to be the best that they can be also. So if she wants to work, cool. If she doesn't, okay, cool. That's a conversation that y'all have to talk about. But two people have to be 100% or close to 100% to be involved with each other to make it work. So hopefully you guys can get more insight about what all I just said. If not, rewind the video. Give me a call. It's all good. Hit me up on the DMs. I'm here for you guys. Women too, pretty much. But Monica, does that sum up to what you're saying about the men's side of it?
Yes, it sums up to the men's side. And I'm going to just flip the script to the women's because you talked about men at home and, you know, with the woman and she's doing all the things. So let me digress, take it back for a moment. Women, when we are dating or exploring our options, my advice would be to collect data.
Yes.
Dating is for collecting and evaluating if this person should even be in my life. Okay. Dating is collecting data. So it's our responsibility as women to make sure that we are vetting and that we are vetting properly. Now, that may look different to every woman, but make sure that you have a game plan. So you're going to be asking questions. You're going to be observing. You're going to be looking at behavior. You're going to be looking at specific patterns. And does it align up to what you want? The beginning stages of dating is going to determine how you end up with an individual. And that's just not in relationships romantically, that's in business relationships as well. You want to be able to read the room, okay, and evaluate if this individual should even be in my life. That's the starting point, okay? But if we're coming in already wanting, a
Oh,
relationship really badly and desperate and all these things, all that goes out the window. So I always say, you got to see in your left brain. You use a logic when you're evaluating. How does that sound to you, DeMarco?
that sounds wonderful. And then the add, so men, same thing for you guys. So if you're a boy, if you're a guy, whatever, but the thing is, guys, we gotta be men. There's no excuse about where you are right now. So let's just say men right now for my response on this question that she asked me. So that's good. But same for you guys. Like, let's all take into account of data. Data is very important. Hence what I said earlier about asking questions in the beginning before anything gets sidetracked or forgotten, talked about later. It's very important to know your worth, but as long as it's reasonable and coming from love, nobody wants to be used. No, no women, no men. So now I'm going to transition to the female slash women portion of this topic. Okay. So Monica, since that's involving you, do you want to go ahead and start that off, or should I start it off this time?
I'll let you start it off and I'll chime in.
All right, perfect, perfect. Appreciate it. So, yes, and here's the thing: a lot of real men are catching on to, especially on dating apps, but in general. So ladies, girls, whatever. The thing is, if you're getting into knowing somebody, you should not always expect him to pay for you. That's the thing. In this generation, I don't know what it is. The last one too, of course, but this one for real, it's terrible. If a man doesn't know you and if you don't know the man, why do you expect for him to always pay for you for certain things? Well, probably everything. There's so many people out there who, oh yeah, you know what? If a man wants to know me, he got to pay for this and pay for that. That's not gonna work. That's being a girl. That's not being a woman. And as Monica said earlier, the rite of passage is all up in here and in what's in here in your heart. Those two determines your rite of passage. I don't care how old you are either. Just because you're in your 40s, 50s, whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. A kid's a kid. All right. That goes for both genders, of course. So to reiterate what I'm saying, it can go to both genders, but right now it is a lady's time. So just be a friend. If you like that person, dope. You might have some time to process why you like that person. Okay, good. But communicate, have integrity, say what you're looking for up front so stuff can be handled later. And maybe what you guys should do is if you don't really know each other or you kind of feeling it or this and that, just go half the first time or two. Whoop-de-doo, go in half. If the man wants to pay for you, that's his choice. But yeah, that's a different topic a little bit. But the thing is, you guys gotta be partnership. Okay? Relationships are partnerships. It's not gonna be one-sided where the women gets everything and the guy's over here working hard and being stressful, getting talked to, or trying to have his worth pulled, not pulled, proved every single day. That ain't gonna work, especially for me. I don't do that. I know my worth, right? And I know my self-love, so I don't take stuff to where it's like, okay, well, is she wanting this for real or is she just trying to use me? So it's we all have to be mature. That's the key word, mature, and not fill the voids, like I said earlier, to know somebody. Be genuine. That would take you far. So if you do it that way, men and women, that's going to expose the characters of that person for sure. Okay, so this person doesn't want my money or this person doesn't want sex with me all the time, blah, blah, blah. Be friends, man. Have a good time together. Be intentional at the same time. Okay, look, I'm feeling you. Now I want to go to this next level with you mentally to see what we can go next. Because now that person has proved himself, but then you got to prove yourself as well by doing the same exact thing. There's no entitlements. There shouldn't be no entitlements. I don't care if you're a guy or girl, female, whatever you want to call yourself for this podcast. Episode. All gotta be together, man. Treat yourself how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's the thing. When you live by that, you're gonna be good in life. You're gonna be more happy, less stressful, and worried about the small stuff. Just be pure, and that's all I gotta say with that. So,
Okay, all right. You hit on a couple things, and the first thing that resonated with me, and I think is the baseline for developing a relationship, is friends first. And I think there's a big difference between, you know, dating and then getting to know somebody. And
mm,
getting to know somebody is the prerequisite to dating. Okay,
yep.
so I'll just take it back to myself. When
Hmm.
I'm getting to know somebody, it is strictly a meet and greet. For me,
Yes.
this is not across the board for all women. So don't, I'm not trying to set a standard here, but for me, so I don't go in with an expectation as a man paying for me when it's a meet and greet for myself.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm going in with the expectation that I'm going to, as I stated earlier, I'm going to assess and I'm going to evaluate. Okay, that's what I'm going to do to find out if this friends, whatever, whatever. So that's my baseline is friendship, evaluation, analysis, assessment, and then determination. Does that make sense?
That
All
makes
right.
perfect
So
sense.
sense. So as we, if we got this thing, you know, the vibe and all of this, and we want to see each other again, okay, we can do that. And as we ebb and flow into our closeness, then finances may come up. He may say, okay, he may decide, well, I'm going to pay. Or even I could say, I want to treat. But I think that's up to the
Boom.
individual's mindset and where they're at. And there needs to be communication around expectation. When it
Yep.
comes, what is the standard of a friendship? You two have to determine that. You know, people going willy-nilly, not knowing, well, he didn't pay, he didn't do this. But did you have a conversation? Are you just meeting and greeting? Are we dating exclusively? Like, what is going on? So communication is the foundation for that. That, to me, that's going to set the standard for the both of you. Now, I'm not saying that women should come out of the pocket and pay, and men should. I'm not saying that, but there needs to be a a conversation around what is actually going on here. For me, A meet and greet is not a date
Exactly. Say that
for
again.
me. And I'm not going in with the expectation of a man paying for $200 meals. I don't even know you like that. And what's going to come with that if you pay for that? What are you going to want if this happens, right? So
That goes to what I was about to say
go
too.
ahead, go
That goes to what I
ahead.
was about to say. Exactly. So thank you for reminding me about that. Appreciate it. See, it's why we take notes, everybody, just in case. But yeah, so I don't know why this is a guy thing, or both people thing. Actually, it's just more on the guy side. Let's be honest here. Sometimes, um, so like if you do pay for a female, for a woman, whether you're meeting up with them or even going on a real date, yes, a real date. So I'm glad you said that, Monica, about meeting up first. That's what I do all the time. I meet I I call it a hangout slash meetup first. Meetup, okay, cool. See how the person's real, especially if you're on a dating app. See the person's real first of all. Okay, cool. Hangout. All right, yeah. You know what? Do you want to do this, and do that? All right, cool. And then the third or maybe fourth, depending on you guys' own time, right? This is just not everybody's different, so this is not a how you say this, Monica? This is not a way of how to do it to the sense of time frame.
Okay.
You have to feel it within each other, both of you guys, to
Yes.
know where to go from there. The guy cannot do all the work. He cannot
No.
do all the planning.
No.
And then the women, they can't always want to, like you said, expect something, right? But both people have to do the same thing. Okay, so my turn to plan. Okay, cool. So now it's my turn to plan, right? So sometimes guys just pass off with each other about the responsibility and let to plan something because really, a real man, I'm gonna
Mhm.
give y'all this little tip, ladies. A real man loves when he's feeling valued, when he's feeling loved, when he has that attention to know that she's serious. If you expect a real man to chase you, that ain't gonna work. Guarantee you that ain't gonna work. Now, of course, some things might happen in life, of course, but just still tap in with the person. Say, hey, I haven't texted you in a while, this and that, some stuff been going on. Just communicate. It's not hard to communicate, guys. If you need to process things and let the person know sometimes too, or just talk to yourself too. Said, okay, I need to take a little break with myself too, so I get myself back together. But the thing is, no expectations to the point where it's not realistic. The second thing is, like I said earlier, treat other people how you want to be treated. Just because he's the guy or just because she's the girl doesn't mean they should be doing those things. Like for example, like how we said men should always pay for things, which is not true at all. So that's one, that's dumb, especially if you don't know anybody that deep. Number two, how the women's supposed to be cook all the time, supposed to be cleaning this and that. How about you be a man to help her out though, too, at the same time? So like my thing about gender roles is not that far apart. It's kind of the same field because you guys are both a team. You're trying to build together, right? Help that person get stronger with their weaknesses. Both people work with each other, guys, because it's a war out here. It's a war. It's a spiritual warfare, as you guys have heard many times, but it's been going on through propaganda, social media, news, and a lot of us are, no, not a lot of us, a lot of people are falling for it, falling for the hurt, the evil about how to be, and that's not the way to be. You guys got to remember about God, how to treat other people the way you want to be treated. Simple as that. And that's that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just reminiscent of the past is when I was growing up dating really or getting to know somebody really wasn't this complicated. Maybe because of social media and technology has advanced and all the things, but we met people in public. We
Yes.
wanted to go out and have fun. It wasn't just about the expensive dinners and things. We really wanted to really understand and get to know somebody on, as I say, a humanistic level. So if that meant back in the day, if that meant going roller skating, if it meant going dancing, if it meant going to a carnival, you did fun things, and it really didn't cost that much. And at
Mhm.
that time, it really didn't. It was affordable.
Yes.
Everyone was really looking for fun and just getting to know. And things have ebbed and flowed so far away from that. It's just really heart wrenching and concerning for me because I feel like we've lost the capacity just to respect each other just as human beings because everyone's coming in wanting something.
Hmm.
Can we just get to know somebody? on a decent humanistic level first. And that's where the friendship comes in. And I think for me, this is why I can be really good friends like with guys, because I've learned at an early age on how to be friends with men, just on a friendship level.
Yep.
Even if there's attraction, I still know how to maintain. And that takes that takes some time. That really does. Because you could be attracted to somebody, but at the same time, you gotta say, I gotta keep my head level. I gotta keep a level head because I'm entering a friendship, not a relationship. And how can we even ebb and flow on a friendship if we can't even or how can we ebb and flow in a relationship if we can't even have a relationship and just, like you said, have to have the basic respect for one
Yeah, basic
another.
respect for sure.
And you said God. And I think, I mean, I could go on a tangent on that, but there's a spiritual component to interactions. Energy is exchanged. When you're around people, you're picking up on certain things. This is a spiritual, like you said, a spiritual warfare. And once we
Yep.
understand what is actually happening on the spiritual level, and I'm not going to get all into that, then you have a better understanding of how to connect with people, when to let them go, when to cut them off, when to move in. But that's something that the audience will have to do for themselves. But there is a spiritual component. Keep that in mind. Dig deeper into that. Connections are real. Soul ties are real. These things are real. But being able to have the information and God to help you navigate this is going to be key in mastering relationships and having a successful relationship in these times.
Boom. Yeah. So we kind of already said it pretty much, the whole podcast episode today, or just the episode period, should I say. I keep saying podcast, but whatever. It's all good. Um, so the thing is, what, okay, yeah, so we got 10 minutes left on here.
Okay.
So the thing is, we said most of it already, but Monica, what are your solutions to this dating problem right now in the world, especially in America, should I
Ooh,
say?
what's the solution? Oh, good. That's that's a heavy.
I got
I
one, but
think
I'm gonna
there's.
let you go.
Oh, you want to go? Go ahead. Do you want to go?
Oh, well,
I can go. Okay. What are some solutions? You're going to have to be really have self-awareness. You're going to have to do an analysis of yourself, a deep dive into your past, your trauma, your history. What's showing up now in your life, whether it's positive or negative? That could be hindering you, maybe something negative. So you have to dig deep and unpack and heal. If that takes God, therapy, some friends, some life coach, whatever that is, so you can learn how to have just a relationship with people in general.
general.
Okay. In general, it starts in general.
Hmm.
So get a journal and journal down some of the things that you feel are coming up, some of your expectations that may not be realistic to you. How do you ask yourself, how do I deal with conflict?
Mm.
And how do I deal with conflict with myself internally and with other people? Am I willing to hear the truth when it's presented to me? Or do I get defensive and negative? You're going to have to do a self analysis and get yourself together first before you jump in with somebody else, because sometimes we go into things thinking that we're right and we really don't have a clue that we're not. And until we can do the deeper dive with God and maybe even a life coach and some friends who really know what they're talking about, we're just going to be stuck, right? And then again, like you said, respecting, we went back to that, respecting each other on that humanistic
Hmm.
level and conversation and communication.
Hmm.
Um, and this to me, one last thing, and social media, I like to meet in person. I'm not going to sit here and have a text relationship and a phone. That's me personally. I need to get to know who you are so I can feel you, touch you, taste you, all the things. Okay, so getting back to the realness of interaction and socialization.
Facts. Monica, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That was great. That really was for sure. So, to say my answer for solutions, like I said a few times earlier, just treat others how you want to be treated, for sure. Because really, how you treat people is how you feel about yourself.
Mm,
That's a problem people don't understand.
mm.
So if you're always negative or it's wanting this, wanting that, and this is on both genders, like I said earlier, um, you guys gotta just do better in the sense of being more aware, like she said, of what you're capable of. But here's the beauty about it. You can always build. You can always build on your character and yourself. So don't
Yeah,
lose hope. Even if you are coming from a bad background or just whatever,
right.
never lose hope because it's another day. And today's that day to do better by yourself for yourself. And then when you're more complete or even fully complete, especially on that level, then start looking for your partner, for your match. Because now you know what you bring to the table with confidence, but with purity. If you're pure with a good heart about your intentions, you can't lose. You
That's right.
cannot lose. Only thing that you're going to experience is a no and or a closed door. But guess what? A better door is coming for you next if that happens. Best believe that. Um, and let's stop making excuses for each other or for ourselves. Let's be real men. Let's be real women and love each other the right way. Right.
Yes,
And for those of y'all who are watching this clip or this video, if you want to call me, talk about it more in detail, holler at me. I'm not hard to get at all. For sure. So, but if I don't text back because I'm on a fire or something or do medical calls, what the case may be, but talk to me, man. I'm here for all of y'all. It doesn't matter the gender, doesn't matter the age, yes, kind of does. But as far as like being in the 20s to and up, of course, obviously, right? That's what I mean by the age thing. Gotta be careful. But let's all have a community, man. Let's all have fun together. Let's try to live life less stressful and let's be great people. Let's be great people, man, for once as a whole, not just for us individually, but as a whole for society. Let's fight these negative stereotypes about everyone. Social media cannot rule us.
that's
We
right.
got God above us, baby. We do.
Yes,
Let's live by that. Let's hone that.
yes, yes, yes. I agree. I agree. One last thing I just want to add is, folks, don't for the pre-work on yourself, self-awareness, the pre-work. And as DeMarco said, you may not have had the perfect role models, but you have a conscience and and there are people out there that you can look at, up to, or at, and say, hey, let me go get some advice. Let me go get myself into some therapy. That's a part of your self-care, your psyche and your self-care and your heart care. If that's a part of, if, like, for instance, let me give you an example. If your liver's sick, right, you're going to go to the doctor, right? So if you're
Mhm.
having other issues that you mental health or things emotional, don't be afraid to seek help and
Mm.
ask for help and professional help when it comes to yourself, because you're only bettering yourself. And when you better yourself, you come out authentic and real and healed, you're not only helping yourself, you are transmitting that energy to everybody around you and they benefit. And that's because you are what you attract, right? So if you want to attract better, get the help if you think you need it. DeMarco said,
Facts. And sometimes, like, here's my last spill on this thing right now.
yeah.
Sometimes your friends and your colleagues are not the right source for you. I will say that again. Sometimes it is not your friends or your colleagues to get advice from because they're either having somebody already or they're in a funk themselves. So you gotta find
True.
the right help for sure. But as long as you're looking for help, period, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. That's a good first step. And I'm proud of you for doing that. For the viewers out there who are watching this, if you don't know a first step, take that step. I'm proud of you. Monica's proud of you. Let's just get going on this train to be the best version of us that we can be. No excuses at all. So, so that is it for today's episode, guys. If y'all want to hop on this episode next time with me or with Monica or Monica, excuse me, let us know. We'll get this going, man. Long time period. Long term. I can't talk. Right now, I can't even talk, man. I'm so excited right now on this podcast episode. I'm so excited, but I want to start doing more of these things with you guys for the community because all you guys see on my Facebook and Instagram is business, business, business. That's cool. That's dope. It's fun. But I feel like to connect more with you guys and vice versa, we got to connect more on the real things, on the more heartfelt things about what's going on in ourselves to be able to have a voice for ourselves and with people as well so we can help get through these things, man, because it's not easy, you know, but it's easier when you have a team And it's easier when you have God, which you always do, but you have to be aware of him and open your heart for him. Then I'll help you out for sure. But we got a minute and 30 seconds left counting down. So that is it
Okay.
for the episode. Much love to y'all and talk to y'all soon.
All
Peace.
right. Thank you. Thank you, DeMarco.
Thank you as well, Monica. Heck yeah.